Batman is my favorite character in comic books, and it literally hurts my soul that some people in the world think he's just this lonely creature of the night that fight crimes to just have vengeance for his parents' death or something. When he is much more than that, he's a family man. He constantly leans on his family to help him with crime fighting and also with personal things in his life. And today I want to go through each Bat family member and explain what they mean to Batman. Nightwing is Batman's greatest success. Dick was able to grow from his parents' death and become a well-adjusted person, leader, friend, and even a better adversary than Batman ever was. But more than that, he's proof that the cycle can be broken. Where Bruce let tragedy define him, Dick transformed his pain into purpose without losing himself in the process. He took everything Batman taught him and learned to let go of the pain. Dick is what happens when the mission works. He's the hope that Batman could never fully embody. A version of justice rooted in empathy, not vengeance. To Bruce, Nightwing isn't just a partner or a protege. He's a living reminder that Batman doesn't have to end in darkness. He is proof that someone can look into the same abyss and still find the way to the light. Now, Red Hood is known as Batman's greatest mistake, but I think there could and should be more to their dynamic because I don't think it was a mistake to take a kid off the streets and give him guidance. I kind of read Jason as a character that could represent Bruce's inner rage. That's what got Bruce so interested in him in the first place. How Bruce saw himself in Dick when his parents passed, Bruce saw his unfiltered rage in Jason. Jason Todd embodies Batman's raw, unfiltered self, the part of him that would act without restraint or moral boundaries. But just like his own rage, he refuses to let go of Jason because he sees the potential in him. Red Robin is Bruce Wayne's ride or die. He grew up basically idolizing Batman and Robin, so when he became Robin, you can bet he was never gonna let shit go and always be loyal to the soil, meaning Bruce forever. You can bet top dollar if Bruce Wayne isn't being brainwashed or mind controlled and he's just at odds with the Bat family, Tim will always be there for him. Even when presumed dead, a literal smoking corpse and all, Tim still does not leave his side and searches for him by himself around the world with a whole new identity because Dick said he's a grown man, you can't be in that Robin fit forever. So he just put on a cowl and added red to the Robin, and now he's a whole different guy. But it turns out he was right. Batman was not dead. Congratulations, I guess. When worst comes to worst, Bruce always knows that Tim will be there as his Robin no matter what, and that's what he can count on him for. I think similarly to how Jason represents Bruce's rage, Tim represents his brain. Tim has always been one of the lesser fighters in the Bat family. I mean, you would need your fingers and toes to count how many L's he has taken. Batman, Nightwing, Red Hood, Damian, Deathstroke, Azrael, Ra's al Ghul, but I don't want to turn this into a Tim Drake hate video because he is one of Bruce's most important allies, and he's honestly one of the most similar to him because of his background. He grew up upper middle class with parents that were never really around, and they would always put him in boarding schools, and because of this, he became a very curious child and figured out Batman and Robin's true identity simply by identifying a gymnastic trick that was only performed by the Flying Graysons. He always lets his intelligence lead his actions, unlike his brothers, and this is probably why Bruce let him into the fold, and he's also the reason that Tim's life resembles his more now. Once he became Robin, his mom died, and a couple years later, his dad died. Because what's a good Robin with parents that love him? You gotta kill them all off. Either way, Tim nowadays is a reflection of Bruce's intelligence in the most real way possible because now he has the origin story to match. Robin represents the chickens coming home to roost for Batman because inherently Damian is probably everything Bruce didn't want in his firstborn son. Raised by assassins, killer mentality, morally suggestible, this was kind of retribution for the way Bruce Wayne was living. Hating and wanting to rid the world of crime and murder, but at the same time getting into bed with thieves and murderers. It's not like it's a bad thing though. He is a reminder that he isn't perfect, so neither should his son. They both work to be better people one day at a time. I think Batgirl understands Bruce the most out of all of his family. Cat's had a rough upbringing to say the least, and because of that, it's more often than not that her actions speak louder than her words. She might have her gripes with Bruce, but she never lets that get in the way of the mission. Something we know Bruce is all about. Bruce's kids for the most part contrast his grief and vengeance, but Cass is the only one who is kind of similar to him, as she is a person that is founded on guilt. What brings them together is their capacity to believe people can change and be better. To Bruce, Cass isn't just another protege. She's the closest thing he has to understanding himself without words. Oracle is the first person that is inspired by Batman's heroism and dons a costume to help in his mission. Even after losing the use of her legs in an attack by the Joker, she still went on to continue her heroism as Oracle, what she was already transferring towards before the incident. She is an information broker for the Bat family and becomes the glue for the family. She represents how Batman can inspire just inherently. Spoiler is a small reflection of Batman. Bruce and Steph have always had an interesting relationship to me because she's the only Bat family member that consistently puts herself into the fire when it's implicitly said Batman does not want her there. I mean, she goes out there completely outmatched. She's never trained in stealth or fighting, but she still shows up to fight the good fight. I mean, eventually Tim trains her a little bit, but he's not really a teacher. But when he has to quit being Robin, Steph is there to ask Bruce if she can be his Robin, and for some reason he agrees to let her be his Robin. And I think the reason is because he sees himself in her, not in Gotham, but when he's with the JLA. He's just a regular guy with some gadgets, fighting alongside kings, queens, and gods, fighting world-ending threats. That might as well be the big boy comparison to what Steph goes through as an untrained vigilante, fighting alongside seasoned crime fighters, going against murderers, bank robbers, and metahumans. It's like looking at a tiny mirror for Bruce. It kind of sucks that she disobeyed him in the field and got fired, which led to her stealing one of his plans to end crime, but accidentally started a gang war and ended up dead. She ended up faking her death and came back to be spoiler for a little bit, but after Bruce died, she became Batgirl with the blessing of Cass and Barbara. This is where she finally got her proper training from Barbara and Dick, who is now Batman. But ultimately, I think Bruce sees Spoiler as a smaller version of himself. Batwoman isn't a protege of Batman. Honestly, some would say she's not even a member of the Bat family because she really does beat to her own rhythm, to her own drum. She just happens to don her cousin's bat symbol. I think Kate is the first person in the crime fighting family that Bruce saw as an equal from jump. Not combatively, not even intellectually, but just as a person. She didn't ask for his blessing, and nor does she need it. She's walking proof that Bruce's ideals outgrew his core family and inspired others in the city to forge the world they want to live in. Bruce's mission started as a solo venture and later on his circle opened, but Kate is a reminder to Bruce that anyone can join his mission without his say or permission, and he should just be there to support if needed. The Signal is one of the newest members of the Bat family and also one of the only metahumans in the Bat family. Duke is not the typical protege of Bruce because of this. He is someone who teaches Bruce just as much as he teaches him. Bruce views Duke as a partner so much to the point he gives him his own identity and lets him operate alone in Gotham in the daytime. Duke's existence challenges Batman's philosophy and proves that heroism can exist in the light for Gotham. Catwoman is Batman's freedom if he ever let himself be happy. To be with Selina, Bruce has to be okay with accepting imperfection. He has to be willing to compromise and also be vulnerable because Selina is one of a few people that sees all sides of Bruce and can relate to the grief and trauma that makes up his character. Sometimes their personalities and ideals clash, and that's why their relationship is notoriously rocky. In my perfect headcanon conclusion, Bruce and Selina tie the knot and heal together. Alfred is the most important ally Bruce has. He is his anchor, his guardian, his enabler. He would not be Batman without the former MI6 agent turned butler. Alfred is usually Bruce's voice of reason, which could be debated as an issue, but that's not what I'm here to talk about right now. It just shows how important he is to Bruce, so it makes it that much sadder to see what Bruce is going through without him. He got to the point where he's even hallucinating him and talking to him. Alfred will forever be Bruce's rock, whether he's there or not. But what do you think these Bat family members mean to Batman? This was just my opinion. Please tell everyone down in the comments below what you think these people mean to Batman. Also, I didn't cover exactly everybody in the Bat family, so if you think someone should be added to this list, feel free to say it. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you on the next one.